out there?
I just think, I think there are. I think it's kind of like those little bit of differences, right? It's that throw, and do you come down with the catch or don't you? Do you gain that extra bit of separation or not? The comfortability with the quarterback and the tight end. I think all those things come into it, but it was fun. It was fun being able to do some of that stuff with the tight ends and Xander as well, and Buffoon's a special player.
Can I ask you about Neville a little bit? I mean, people are getting a pretty good idea how well he can block. But are you seeing a guy just settling in now to the, I don't know if that's the right way of putting it, but who's really getting a grip of the position now?
Yeah, Xander, I always tease him, man. He's an engineer, so he sees things like this, right? And it's like, if it isn't this, then it's not right. And it's getting to that point where just seeing things and making adjustments, and you got enough reps into things that you kind of make it yours. And I do see that in him. He is such a big part of what we do, and him being there makes us a much better offense, and he's done a really good job.
Joe, what has Ramish given the unit this year in terms of complementing the guys up front, blocking for
Ram? Yeah. I think Ram's having a really good year. Got a lot of confidence using him. We probably can use him more ways than we have, and splitting him out. I think he has a lot of ability that way. But I like the way he's been playing, the way he's competed in practice, and what he's put on film. Like, I think he's been playing real well.
Is he more athletic than you would think just by looking at him? I mean, could you talk about using him in different ways?
Yeah, he is. I mean, there's no doubt. He's got a little bit of Derek Watt in him, where you can line him up and he could be comfortable closer to the ball, comfortable in the backfield. He can make plays with catching the football. I think he's a talented kid, and what we're asking him to do, he's doing a really good job.
Is there a turning point for Herman at all that you can point to, maybe whether it was in the off season or?
Yeah, it was fall camp, and he really was playing outstanding in fall camp, and really took a lot of notice. And then he got a shoulder about probably the third week of camp, maybe. And then at that point, he took a step backwards, as a lot of times you have with injuries, and it just kind of took him a while to kind of get back up to that consistency of play. And then he did a few weeks ago. He really did. He started to show up that way, and then brought that confidence on to put him in there, and he's taking advantage of the opportunity.
Have you had any time to reflect on the things that Jonathan Taylor has been able to accomplish here so soon in his career?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It is. Like, you see some of the stuff, and it is remarkable. And yet we're just plugging to get one more yard, and you know what I mean? And that's kind of been the mindset of the group, is to keep that edge about just trying to find something to improve at. And we talked about the best teams and the best players find a way to keep getting better as the year goes on. And so that's what we're demanding out of ourselves and each other. And at the end, we'll look at that stuff and enjoy it. And right now, they're just having fun, kind of doing the little things they need to do to be successful. And that's a good focus.
Teammates talk about his maturity a lot, but what was the thing that you first noticed on the field about him that you kind of went, wow, even for a freshman?
Yeah, I would probably say his playmaking ability, like his ability to take that play that might go for 6 or 7, and he takes it for 60 or 70, right? I mean, that's a big difference. And then you couple that with, the maturity to want to be consistent. Not saying, boy, I did that, wasn't that great, and you talk about that one play you had, but really wanting to be a consistent player regardless of the play call. And those two things they've benefited him in a big way, and us.
So Dieter the other day was talking about he's seen pretty much everything he's going to see now at left tackle. That some things he struggled with early, he's better now. What was the biggest transition for him when he first moved from just in to out?
Well, I think you start to feel really comfortable as you leave fall camp. But the deal is that now you're going to see different defenses, and you're going to see different body types, and you're going to see different pressures. And so, at times a different guard next to you, and there's just different things that you got to be able to adjust to. You got to adjust to how do you play when you're not feeling 100%, and you do have an ankle, and how does that affect you? And I think all those things start to build to a confidence level that's different. Like, not can you do it, but I'm going to get this done, and then and you kind of just settle in. And I see that. I thought technique-wise he improved dramatically last week, playing with technique. And that's what I'm going to keep harping him on about, because I think he could be as good as anyone when he just plays and trusts that technique throughout. So I think his best football this year is still ahead of him, so I'm excited for that.
You mentioned the ankle. I'm just curious, what was going through your mind at BYU when he refused to come out and he stayed in just for the one
Yeah.
last play, which was a touchdown?
Yeah, I love it, man. Freaking throw a guy back off the field. I ain't never going to complain from me. Just, get your job done. You know what I mean? And I do have trust in the next guys going in, which is great. And I think they do too. You know what I mean? I think they really do trust the guys that are coming in behind them. But at the same time, if you can get it done, you want to be out there with your guys and you want to be fighting through it. So they're smart. They know when they can't go and when they can. And like Bo had one earlier in the year, he broke his finger on a play and then he doesn't come out. And then the next play we give up a sack. We don't punch. And I'm like, come on, man. Friggin' Michael would have went in or Herds would have went in and we'd have handled that. Just, be smart about it. So you want them to be smart, but you do love their competitiveness.
Quintez and AJ have kind of increased the role this year. What kind of expectations did you have for them coming into the season?
You know what? I really had, we had really high expectations for them because they did play last year. You never know. You hope by playing someone as a freshman, you hope that it's really going to add to their development as a sophomore. And sometimes that is the reason why you do play it. And it did in their cases in a big way. Quintez, just from the jump, the way he approached things. And AJ, from spring ball, you just saw a different guy. And then he went through fall camp, and he was really solid. But then you saw these last few weeks him really step up. And it's been exciting to watch those guys kind of evolve in that room and the confidence level they're playing with. And they know they're going to get it's going to get harder and harder as we go along, but I'm excited for them.
Joe, you've had experience dealing with injuries along the offensive line since you've been back here. Is there any similarities to what you guys have done with the tailbacks this year? Because you have Annette Deal, James has been on. I'm sure, I don't know if you expected Groshek to be a key figure when camp broke.
Yeah, you weren't sure. I think that was one of the reasons with Rashid that you felt good, you know what I mean? And you did want to be able to solidify that because you did worry because you hadn't been real healthy there. And the fact that Jonathan is playing, you weren't able to count on that factor. And the fact that Groshek's playing at the level he's playing at, it really worked out for us well and created some depth. But I think we're going to need everyone. I think that is the Big Ten, at times you're only as good as that next guy that steps into the huddle for you, and there's teams experience it now, and we have experienced it, and that next guy's got to be able to step up and help you. And so far we've had guys step up, and that's huge.
What stands out about Illinois when you look at their defense on here?
You know what? I think they're I think they do a really good job of kind of creating box issues. They really do a good job of, they stack it and they play man and they right in your face, and they're getting these kids to play aggressive, and there's a lot of young faces out there, but you see kids that play really, really hard and they fight their tails off, and like I said, they do a good job trying to create the numbers issues for you.
When it comes to Kendrick and after his accident, how long did it take for him to kind of find his groove back within the offense and now seeing him contribute?
It did take him a little bit, you know what I mean? That was a serious injury, and we missed him when he was out. And you see him, and I mentioned it a few weeks ago. He had a day where we kind of go against the defense, and he was doing like offensive or defensive emphasis. So he was kind of the second team group that was running plays against the first team D. And man, he made a couple plays, and you were like, holy smokes, like he pretty good. And then he did kind of that same thing here today. So I see him really taking steps, and he's having fun, and he's playing confident, and it's what you want to see, you know what I mean? Like that pumps you up. And again, he's had to step up in a big way and have a lot more reps over these last few weeks. So excited for him.
Time for a couple more guys. When it comes to that too, seeing Danny questionable, Jazz and George out, like how have you seen guys like Kendrick and AJ and Quintez kind of step up? Have you seen any pressure be put on there, any stress that's led negative with any negative plays, or are they still?
No, they, it's always been that next man in mentality. Dunner went in there last week and he fought his tail off and made some plays, and that's it, and we can use Peniston in those roles, and we can use Foom in those roles, and you could use Ramish in those roles, and the guys have kind of embraced the idea that we can be multiple, and whoever's in that huddle knows what they need to do, and let's go.